Okay, can everybody hear okay? Good? Cool. So we might as well get going. This is meant to be kind of a very self-organizing thing, but the basic deal is, we call this thing, I'm Jason Kramer with the Boston Institute for Nonprofit Journalism, and I'm a photojournalist and erstwhile artist, although since I got my MFA, I haven't done a whole bunch of shows in the last year or two, but it's there. I thought that it was good to just do a very practical event, because there's been a number of events that are aimed at artists where there's been a lot of discussion, which is important. But I did want a place where people could just pitch things they want to do, projects they want to do, across the various arts, as broadly speaking as you wish. So visual arts, plastic arts, writing, music, dance, whatever. Right? And it seemed best to just have folks do pitches for up to 3 minutes, like we've been saying on the event site that I hope you saw tonight, just ideas for things that you'd like to do. And just going to call on people, and people can come up and do their pitch. And when you are done doing your pitch, just please leave your name, address, and the title of your pitch over there, just so we have it. And then, time allowing, depending on how many people actually give pitches, we can break into smaller groups so people can start discussing the ideas they want to work on and stuff. And we're suggesting that we break those groups into action, by which we mean marches, direct action, whatever, flash mobs, performance, which I think is pretty obvious, exhibitions, which I think is also pretty obvious, agitprop, by which we mean publications, posters, that sort of thing, and then education. So it's just straight educational events, conferences, seminars, workshops. That would be in education. And we'll just break up a couple groups in here. We can use that middle area there. There's a table in the front, and then there's a room over here that's classed off. And we can have 5 groups pretty easily. The rationale for this, I guess, should be obvious. We call this, this call went out to sort of the broad left among people that consider themselves some kind of artist, creative person, whatever. And we're about to enter the Trump era. I think a lot of us think it's been bad enough in the previous many years, and now it's probably going to get worse. So maybe for the first time for at least some of us in a generation or two, I think everybody feels like we're going to have to fight for our very democracy. And artists historically of all kinds have been at the forefront of these movements, and artists tend to self-organize pretty well. So that's what this event is meant to do. That said, I'll run over the housekeeping again quickly. Beer in the back, cookies in the back. Please enjoy. Put your bottle back in the box that's there when you're done drinking it, and so on and so forth. There's trash back there. There are bathrooms over there and over there. The fire doors, again, there's an emergency exit over there, and then the front door that you came in is the other one. We got Wi-Fi, and who is willing to take some notes? I should just ask directly.
I'll take them.
If you have a laptop.
Oh, no.
Okay, does anyone? Okay, so we have one person. So if you don't mind logging into that bit.do /
I tried, but
not working?
It doesn't open it.
Try www.bit.do / Artists for Democracy. Otherwise, I'll come over and help you in a minute and get you in. I got the link with me. And then that's the Wi-Fi. Beyond that, Seren, anything you wanted to say? With Encuentro Cinco, talk about the space for a second?
Later.
Later, okay. All right, well, let's just get going. I mean, I can either give you a sample pitch or just let you run wild and run free. So.
Sample.
All right. So I was going to suggest, although I haven't had a whole bunch of time to think about this because I've been putting this together. And I would suggest thinking about events that are replicable, that maybe other people might do elsewhere. Because the only way social movements build is horizontally, where people see things that they can do and they just do them. That's how Occupy was built, that's how Black Lives Matter has been built in other movements historically, and I don't see why it would be different with this one. So I was thinking about doing a democracy parade or a pageant, not dissimilar from Pride, where we just call in all the various tribes and we get out in the streets and march through different areas past what one might call targets, and make our presence known. This would be especially excellent to do in red parts of Massachusetts, in the suburbs, like not just in the city all the time. I feel like a lot of us do a lot of activism and organizing in the city, but not enough in the suburbs. And where have the suburbs gone politically while all this has been going on? They've gone to the right, my right, stage right. So yeah, that's something I'd like to suggest doing. It's a simple idea, but a big, pretty big undertaking. I have a background in events, so I mean, it's something that I think, friends and I could do. And it would be easy, I think, fairly for people to do it like where I grew up, like in Peabody, Mass, or anywhere, right? That could be large, small, and it could be aimed at any number of particular targets. It could be shaped in different ways. It could just be, a lot of excitement and a lot of fun, or it could be more serious depending on how you do it. So that's an idea that would go into our action group, working group, subgroup after this pitch. So having done the pitch, I then would go over there and sign my name, and I will, and put my email down, and the title of my pitch, which was Democracy Parades. Okay. So that's how you do it, basically. Maybe a little less rambly than me, and you do it in under 3 minutes. Is there anybody willing to be a timer? Keep track of people. Thanks, James. So, who would like to give a pitch? Okay, come on up. And obviously tell folks your name, say your email, or whatever, however you want people to contact you out loud too, if you don't mind. And go for it. Cool. And we'll just run from there. When we're done, when everyone's done pitching, we'll think about small groups.
Hey everybody, my name's Phil. Can you hear me okay? My email is my full name, philip.gedarvich@yahoo.com. It's kind of long. I'm going to write it down there. It might be easier just to look at the paper.
Yeah, we'll type it
instead of spelling the whole thing out. So basically, the idea I have also is a pretty simple concept. Nothing too crazy, but it's something that really anybody could do. I call it Bridging the Divide. And it's basically like a documentary or a short film series where people go and they bring the left and the right together to have a conversation, to have a discussion. So finding somebody who is a stalwart Trump supporter and figuring out, let's just say, for example, they have an issue with illegal immigration, and then getting them together with somebody who maybe is not a legal resident, a Mexican or a Hispanic person, and bringing them together and just having them sit down and have a conversation and talk to each other and film it and share that on social media, put it onto a YouTube channel. And the idea with this sort of, been thinking about it for a while, it gestated and came to me originally from this piece that I heard on NPR, where there was like a survey that was going around in an area, I don't remember exactly where in the country, but in an area that was typically very Catholic, very conservative, and very against gay marriage. So there were actually gay people who were going around, knocking on doors, canvassing, and telling their personal stories to these people, and then getting their opinions, after kind of telling these stories, would they then support gay marriage in that community? And just by doing that, just by going around to people's homes and talking to them one-on-one, the support for gay marriage in that area went up really high.
That's a discredited piece of research, unfortunately. Check it out.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I may be mixing them up. There was two. There was one that was credited and one that was discredited. But in any case, I think we need to be having these conversations. We can't talk about it in our vacuum. We need to bring both sides together, sit them down. What are your issues? What is the problem you have with the other person? And I think if those personal stories are told, people will feel a lot better about it and be like, okay, I'm not just in my little bubble here. I'm meeting this person, head to head and getting their side of things. So that's that. So bridging the divide. Thanks, guys.
And if you'd like to use the web, we can just take this card off the screen and you can use the web. Okay, just right over here on this machine. Who would like to go next? Bursting with ideas as you
I
are.
have may I ask, I have an event that's already being planned.
Yeah, please, if you got, I'm sorry, if you got stuff already going on, please talk about it. We said that too.
Hi, my name is Daniel Boudreau, and I'm an actor in Boston, and other kinds of artists, and other kinds of art as well. In the wake of the election, I put together, with another person, we put together a theater company to sort of respond to the election and to do political theater, really with the idea. There's a play called Incident at Vichy by Arthur Miller, which basically takes place in a holding pen where people have been taken off the streets during Nazi-occupied France, and it sort of tells the story of those people. It's a one-act play, and we're mounting a production of that as sort of an anti-inaugural event. It's going to open on the inaugural weekend and run for 7 performances. The conceit, we're telling the story straight, like it is about Vichy France, and the characters are Jews, but we're casting on traditionally Jewish actors along with actors of color, so to sort of highlight, people will be seeing the narrative, seeing the story, but we'll have like the, contemporary anxieties of, the pending police state in mind as they watch. So we have a, Middle Eastern actor, a South Asian actor, African American actors, Latinos. So it's, that's basically the event. We started, like, we had our first read on Monday. We started rehearsals. We love the cast. We're excited. The other piece of it is we're linking it in any production we do. We're going to link with activism and try to interest activist groups to come and table after the productions, so we can have the show and then start like a dialogue and also say, okay, we have people from here and people from there, sort of with tables, with literature, things to sign, etc. And typically we would, we have a few plays in mind that we're going to do after VC, or depending on how things go. But, and we would think to sort of target or sort of link, activist groups, how people get involved, how people can learn more, how people can donate, how people can do whatever to help on a cause. Yeah, so that's basically the idea. That's basically what we're doing. So, if anyone sort of wants to hop on that in some sort of way, again, sort of, talk to me. I have flyers about the event.
What's the name of your company?
Praxis Stage. And I have flyers about the event, and yeah, we're gonna do it in a space called Sanctum, which is in Dudley Square on Palmer Street. It's sort of a performance gallery space. We're doing it for 7 performances. Now I'm just trying to stretch my time because I know how to do it. I guess I can stop. That's basically what I'm up to, and I have flyers and stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Praxis Stage.
And for those trying to take notes, bit.do without an HTTP seems to work, / Artists for Democracy, but it's just being fussy here.
No,
Who would like to go next?
And if you'd like a 2-minute warning, let me know. If you don't want one, let me know.
Oh, like a one minute
I've just been saying it here so people can see.
Awesome, cool. Hi, my name's Steph. I go to Mass Art. I know a couple of you here from Mass Art, I think. So at Mass Art, we've been doing a lot of art builds. Like every week, we've been kind of just like painting banners and like making signs. A few of you have been to them. And we just like, we'll do some music as well, where we'll just kind of like jam and like some people know some protest songs. We'll teach each other. We'll write songs. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely talk to me because I would love to invite you to them. Aside from that, I've been working on a project where I've been compiling footage from Standing Rock about what all the police brutality and abuse happening there, and I've been trying to plan spots in Boston where I can go project that footage and put some sound with it and kind of show people what's going on. So we did a test run the other night. We went to Park Street, and there was the tree lighting ceremony was that night. I didn't even know that. So it happened to be perfect timing. So when I did it, like everybody was really shocked, and like people are coming up to me going like, I had no idea that was happening. Like, can you give me more information? So I think it's really effective for like spreading awareness at least. So if you're interested in projection or installation or even if maybe you have content that you're working on that you would like to see like on a bigger scale, I have access to a lot of gear at Mass Art, so I can get like a really bright projector and we have like a battery, so we go out and actually like do it. We've only done it once because it takes like a crew of us. It takes like, maybe like 5 people. So any ideas branching off of that or within that would be really cool to discuss with a group like this. So I can write my email down somewhere,
Yeah.
and also just totally come up to me and talk. We can talk at some point tonight. Thank you.
But basically we're going to be working on how to use the puppets. We were just thinking demonstrations, but like right in public with the theater, something like that. So we're also looking for ideas. So send me an email, or I'll write down my email too. So next weekend. Yeah.
Awesome. More pitches, right back there. Yeah, we're trying to keep everything all like accessible. It's a little tricky.
Thanks. I can't stay, but I wanted to. I'm Julianne Rubiono. I was the founder of Boston for Bernie, and we are now Mass Movement. What we're trying to do is we find ourselves after the election and through the election really at an intersection of the arts, of the justice movement, of all the different justice movements. And so one of the things that we're really focused on is overall citizen engagement, because we have a massive level of lack of imagination in our culture right now, especially in the political narrative, creating agency for people to know they have a say in this, whatever that is, where they're coming from. So what we're doing is we are supporting the process of helping people find their inner agency, grow their awareness, and connect to actions. And we need, like myself, creative people to help that vehicle across the board. So we are working to amplify existing works on what you're already doing. We have a salon. My studio is at the Atlantic Works building in East Boston. So we're meeting every week on Wednesday and bringing together organizers who are in the guts of the activist scene, as well as artists, a better imagination around ways we can approach this, and also people in the political scene. So it's really ways to kind of, so we're not operating in little bubbles, but really knitting these different bubbles together. So I find that this can be a really great vehicle across Massachusetts, but even bigger if we wanted to be, but definitely across Massachusetts, what was I going to say, bring the Artists for Democracy into the general public. So I'm going to leave flyers for each of you guys to understand this a little better.
Does your salon have a name?
Well, right now it's the Mass Movement. I'm Julianne Rubiono again, and so it's the Mama Cast Art Studio is what my studio is. But if you want to go on Facebook and look under Mass Movement, you can find it there. And as I said, I'll leave the links there. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
You just sign it over there.
Okay. Thanks.
This artist who his name was Lazarus 360, and he would put graffiti posts all over Amsterdam. But obviously, it's a beautiful city that you don't want to have a beautiful old building. So what he would always do is he would put them on a plywood or area, and they were always really effective messages and really thought-provoking messages. And then the other day I was also walking around Boston and I saw a sign that said, "What have you done against Trump today?" So I feel like this is the time for artists to start doing graffiti on, obviously, temporary spots that can be removed later on, or just posting signs or whatever. But I feel like it's a really effective way that we can get society as a whole to start thinking about what we can do on an everyday level. And I think posters are really effective means of communication. And, yeah.
And for folks just coming in, we're doing the pitches now, and people are giving their name and some contact information, and and then talking about what they want to do for up to 3 minutes, and then we'll break into small groups, time allowing. So who's up next? And when you're done, we're asking folks who speak to sign in over there so we can get notes from you and stuff. Make sure that we got all the info out of the meeting.
Hi, my name's Carolyn Moberg. And I'm organizing art on the Harbor Islands next summer. So there's an artist in residency program for 2 artists to spend 2 weeks in a yurt on Peck Island. You can go to different islands. So it's a platform to engage with the public. So I think one of the things that some artists struggle with is reaching out beyond our bubble and getting in contact with people with different views. So I feel like the Harbor Islands are a good place to reach different tourists and people who have different, they come to the islands not for the art, they come for a recreational experience. So reaching them through art, I think, is an opportunity to spread different messages. So there's 2 artists in residence programs, opportunities in August, and then there's a sculpture program. They'll be up through May through September, end of May through September, using natural materials and whatever materials you bring. So that's another opportunity to put something up that says a message. So the website with all the information on how to apply and about the project is recreatebostonharbor.wordpress.com. Recreatebostonharbor.wordpress.com. Thanks.
You want to go?
Yeah.
Yeah. And now our timekeeper will speak. But who will keep the time?
Just trust me. No, so I'm not an artist. My name is James. I work at Food Not Bombs. A little bit of history of Food Not Bombs. Their first action was to raise money to post bail for a couple friends who had been arrested for occupying the construction site of the Seabrook nuclear power plant. So what they did was popular bumper sticker at the time was, imagine if, all the schools had all the money they needed to, blah, 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 and the Air Force had to have a bake sale. So they dressed as generals and then had a bake sale. The first actual Food Not Bombs meal was in front of the Federal Reserve. They dressed up as like Depression-era hobos and put on a soup kitchen for nuclear executives and bankers. And that was they invited basically all of the homeless out there. So anyways, Food Not Bombs has always had a sort of an important part of it has been the street theater aspect. As I said though, I'm not an artist.
We don't need confessionals, it's okay.
If there's anyone here who might know how to make use of, being in Central Square from 1 to 4 every Saturday as we put on a free meal and gather, good numbers of people throughout the day, I just want to, put that out there as something we would definitely welcome and we're really desperately in need of. Thanks.
And that simple act of giving food away has been made illegal in many cities, so we can expect to see more of that kind of repression.
Sorry, I just forgot one little thing. There's a number of resources I've been compiling in terms of artists, and one of which came from a different gathering called Creatives Coming Together. I don't know if anyone was at that. If you were, please talk to me. But there's a whole bunch of resources compiled in terms of grants, organizations, things of that sort. So that is something I could help people connect to. Also, please check out the Center for Artistic Activism. They're fantastic. The Center for Artistic Activism has all sorts of trainings, workshops, webinars. There's a thing called the Actipedia, and there's also the other thing, Beautiful Trouble, fantastic book. It's pretty much like a revolutionary toolkit for all sorts of things. Just throwing it out there. Thank you. Bye. Beautiful Trouble. And yeah.
Who else has an idea they want to pitch or something that's already ongoing, a project they want to talk about? So many creative people. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Rachel Hanich. I'm a violinist minutes, but this is not necessarily music related. This is a concept that's happening, that's already been going on for a couple of years in late January, called the People's State of the Union. That I found out about after the event, the Artist Creative Talk event a couple weeks ago. I'm hoping to either connect with one that's already happening and help to put it together, or to start one that would happen at end of January, around the time that State of the Unions tend to happen, or in this case the inauguration. So the idea is that it's a group of many story circles, and I think in that way it has a lot in common with the Bridging the Divide concept, where people are sharing, they're responding to a couple of very specific questions that the organization that puts it together is called the Department of Art, U.S. Department of Art and Culture, even though there's no such department. That's the name of the organization, run by Arlene Goldgard and a bunch of other folks. So they have a wonderful set of templates and resources, which makes it still a lot of work, but relatively easy to put it together, since there's a lot to jump off from. So I'm curious if anyone knows either of other ones that are happening, or are curious in getting involved in either as a facilitator of a story circle, or knowing of a site that might be really great to host an event that has maybe 10 different circles of 10 people each. At the end of the night, people get a chance to share, and one of my ensembles, and I'm sure other musical groups, would be great fits to do kind of a playback of stories, or elements of stories that we hear throughout the night. So thanks, and it's Rachel Panic.
Thanks. Cool. Saray, you want to talk about Encuentro Cinco for a moment?
Yeah, sure. If you mind if I stand here.
I don't mind.
So my comment is just about the particular place you're in right now. It's called Encuentro Cinco. It's a space where many different organizations like Food Not Bombs and others get together and meet. It's also a place where organizations have their regular offices as well. All of them are movement type organizations, so we don't have any central organizing principle other than opposition to war making, opposition to neoliberal economics. So fairly broad kind of space, and it's also available for organizations to use for exhibits, for planning meetings, and for other kinds of organizing. And it's very centrally located, so I encourage you to figure out how you'd like to use the space.
Other pitches, other ideas for stuff people would like to do across the spectrum of the arts. Even something you're thinking of on the spur of the moment.
Spur of the moment. Say it right now? Yeah. Alright, so basically, on the lines of, can't remember your name, but public art, and like taking graffiti kind of on the streets, organizing a day in which we all get together and kind of come up with the ideas. I'm a printmaker, so I can make like a bunch of wheat tastings and just go on the streets, make something happen, install something in the public space. But it always helps to have this in conjunction with an action that's happening. So maybe if we know that there's a demonstration happening in another part of the town, start installing artworks or something like that.
Great. And you already signed it?
Yeah, Francisco last time.
Cool. Yeah, and there's obviously big inauguration events coming up and stuff. Those are the next big targets, the holidays, New Year's, that kind of stuff.
This is a spur of the moment. My name is Victor Wallace. I teach at the Berklee College of Music, and I announced this to people at Berklee. I don't know if any of you are from there. None of the ones I know are here. And I'm very impressed by all of your coming here. And I would like to suggest that maybe one or more of you might come. I'm through with classes for this semester, but in the spring semester, and speak to my class to encourage them to do things like what you all are doing. Thank you.
I have Victor's information.
Can I go from here?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. I don't want
Sorry,
to pressure
please,
people.
sorry. Going off of Berklee, we recently went to Berklee to, they have a newly formed student group called water protectors,
Oh,
Berkeley water protectors, and we were talking about an open mic at Berkeley just to raise awareness, but it would be kind of cool to do an open mic somewhere off Berkeley campus that could just be a fundraiser. Even Francisco and I before this, we were just like jamming. We were like, what if we just did like a concert window, like set up? I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Concert window is like a streaming service that you can set up and you video yourself playing, and people can donate money to you. So like we could do that, and instead of taking the money, we could be like, all the money's gonna go to Standing Rock or go to immigration services or something. Like just a thought. If any other musicians are interested, we would definitely like to do that.
Sorry, I just realized there's an important thing that I forgot to mention when I was up there, which is there's an info session for the Harbor Islands Artist in Residency next Wednesday, if you're interested. And the deadline's January 30th. I know the summer's like so far away. You might have been like, why is she talking about a project for next summer? But info session is next Wednesday, so if you're interested, check out the website.
So I've tried to start groups of artists before to do political stuff, most recently about 14 months ago, mass creative workers. And as you can imagine, it's like herding cats. And like once it's like an official thing, it's kind of like too heavy for everybody. So like, I don't want to like make people nervous, but we have set up a Facebook group called Artists for Democracy Boston. We're sort of being optimistic that people might start this elsewhere, just as a network. Okay, so I don't want people to feel like we're calling everyone in here and then we're going to just talk and go away. If you just sign up for the group, and certainly on the event page we already have, we want people to continue to percolate and post stuff. All the other events that have been happening in town, like stuff done by the DS4SI or ISC or others, everything's intersecting. There's a lot of crosstalk, and that's great. That is exactly what needs to happen. But definitely look for the Artists for Democracy Boston group. You can find it off the event page. And whatever we don't finish here, we'll just continue finishing there. And people can call other meetings there. It is nothing central about this, so you call stuff, whenever you want to, and we'll see what we can pull together. That said, any more pitches, or should we go to Sherry?
Nice to see you. We professors together. Yeah. Oh, I was fired.
So hi, my name is Shari, and I'm going to make a pitch. Do you mind if I stand in? All right.
We'll get a mic,
I'll start singing.
That's fine.
No. So I'm just going to make a little call for artists and performing artists. On Monday at the State House, there are two sort of actions. I don't know what you call them. I'm not affiliated with them. I'm just helping to move it forward because I believe at this point everyone should be out on the street as much as possible. So one is called the Women and Allies Strike Out and Protest. Do people know about that? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's going to be at the State House from 11 to 2. Do you want me to read you what it says? That is on Monday, December 12th. The State House from, like I said, 11 to 2. Did I say 11 to 2? Yeah, okay. So on December 12th, women, self-identified women and their allies will gather together in solidarity in cities across the U.S. There are many cities doing this to protest the normalization of sexual assault, racism, sexism, homophobia, xenophobia, unconstitutional behavior, cronyism, and hate promoted by he shall not be named, and his all of which has already led to an increase in hate crimes and in civil rights violations of the protesters at death. On December 19th, the Electoral College will meet to formally select our next president. And we want them to do the right thing for the people of this country, use their constitutional right to cast their votes against Trump, who does not represent American values. The future of the United States is a free country, and the future of our civil rights, our human rights, depend on preventing a Trump presidency and keeping his team of racist, misogynist cronies from rolling back the progress of the last 50 years. This is the United States of America, not the white supremacist states of Trump. Do you want me to keep going on, or you get the idea? Okay. So that's going on. So I just want, there will also be a standout at the State House on the 19th. This is sort of building up to the 19th, And some of you may know that there's a lot of movement around the Electoral College right now. And there's also a lot of movement that maybe they are going to investigate Russia and what happened. So this may all happen before, right? So the other thing that's happening is called the Declaration of the People. Wait, let me get my dog. Hang on. Hello. How are you? It's here, but don't look at him yet. Because that's okay. So this is out of some organizers in California, and they are also, this is national, also on the 12th and also on the 19th. And they have written, it's called hashtag Defend Democracy. And it's the unanimous declaration of the 50 United States of America. Clearly, they don't need seeing glasses. It's very hard to read, but they are going to be reading this at the state houses across the country. And this is going to be part of Boston's protest, whatever, standout on the 12th. And why I'm here and standing in front of you is there are many of you who might want to dress up as people who might want to then perform the Declaration of the 50 United States of America, and it's the unanimous one. And it's pretty cool, and you can go, it's hashtag Defend Democracy, you can look that up, it's there. If anyone is interested in doing this just all happened like this afternoon, talk to me, because I'm trying to get people together to do a reading of this, okay? And that's it for now.
When you say perform, you just mean read it, or do you mean like?
Yeah, no, read it. Yeah, but you know, if you want to have a little, if you want to dress up like one of the electors,
Nice.
like Manuel, Hamilton, you know, yeah. Like,
Project Enunciate.
and enunciate, yes, in Old English or New Spanish, porque a lo mejor la gente quiere oír el español también, ¿no? So if we want to do that, we could do lots of things with this. The point is to get it done, to do it and to stand out, and please tell everybody to come. Between 11 and 2 on Monday the 12th at the State House. I know everyone has to work.
No, but it's the same time as the other one.
Yes, it's the same thing. We're putting it together.
Together.
Boston is clever.
Sometimes,
together, and depending on who wants to read, we'll figure out what time, and we'll get everyone together for a specific time to do this reading. But there are lots of other things being planned too. So, and also on the 19th, where people are going to make the big last plea to the Electoral College. I think that's it.
Cool. Just sign over there if you don't mind.
Okay.
Thanks.
Does everybody know about the thing in Somerville happening on the 19th?
No.
Okay. This is obviously not my thing, but this is like a huge gathering that's going to be happening at Somerville Theater on Monday night. Somewhere around like 3,000 or 4,000 people signed up to go on Facebook. Obviously, not that many people will come, but it's at the Somerville Theater on Monday night, and it starts at 7 o'clock. And I feel like this might be a really great time to talk about any kind of art project which you want large involvement for, because it's basically all the people who are just really deeply, viscerally upset by this election and want an outlet. So it's a perfect opportunity to get people involved in any project you might have.
Is it like a march, or is it just
No, it's not a march. It's just people who are going to come to the Somerville Theater. And Somerville Theater can't obviously fit 3,000 people, but I think there's going to be an awful lot of people there. I don't know that it's Monday at 7 o'clock at the Somerville Theater, and I'm sorry,
Monday the 19th.
Monday, yeah, this coming Monday.
12th.
This is the 12th. This coming Monday is the 12th. The next Monday is the 19th.
Okay, so it's Monday the 12th.
It's going to be the 12th and not the 19th.
It's the 12th. It's the 12th. It's the 12th. Right? It's the 12th, right? Yeah.
Does somebody know the proper name of it? Like, look it up?
I think I might have it saved.
Who's got it?
I'm looking it up right now.
I saw a hand up there.
Yeah. I'm a musician.
Cool. We'll come over and get your name when we're finished up here. Although you could say your name.
My name's Kristen. I'm a Berkeley student.
Oh, cool.
And I'm sorry I was late.
Berkeley student, that's great.
No problem at all. You have one of your professors sitting a couple seats to your right. So
Oh my god.
it's Victor.
It's called Let's Progress and exclamation point.
Yeah, let's progress, yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, we're kind of in that phase. The Mondragon movement in Spain, we do these big cooperatives. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It is the 12th. Let's progress. And it's at the Somerville Theater, and it's Monday, December 12th at 7 o'clock at the Somerville Theater. Yeah, so I mean, this would be like really cool if we could. I don't know if they have any actual things for people to participate in.
They've got a speaker panel.
But I feel like people are craving things to do.
So we're in the phase where people kind of build the road as we travel. So you're going to see a lot of these events that are kind of half-formed and just pop up. And that's going to be, I think, very interesting. Anybody else who wants to pitch something?
There's something going on tomorrow.
Okay.
So I heard about this on Facebook, and it sounds like a lot of fun, and I want to go, so I wonder if anyone else wants to go. So here tomorrow at 10 a.m., they have something about singing Christmas carols for anti-racism. And
That's awesome. That's
I don't know where exactly we're going somewhere near Downward Crossing, but I know we're meeting here at 10. And then at noontime, there is something going on at 26 West Street about organizing a big inauguration day protest. So I'm just saying the things I know that are going on. If anyone's interested in going to either or both.
Casey, you have your hand up?
Yeah, before I forget, the National Archives is pushing for, it's a huge transcription push for documents that have been scanned and photographed to actually be transcribed to text, largely because a lot of that information is not search engine accessible, and this is a huge part of our history, and I know this isn't sort of intersecting with art, but there's a lot of really important information in there. Specifically, I just transcribed a bunch of documents about the Japanese internment camps, as well as like actual. There were the original documents about like observations of Native Americans by the United States government. So there's a lot of stuff in there that nobody will see unless somebody actually types it up. And I don't know if you have 10 or 15 minutes of free time every once in a while, but even a page makes a difference. So if you guys are at all interested in helping to preserve that history, so artists can use that information for other stuff down the line, it's a pretty cool effort to be involved with, and that's the National Archive. They do a huge spotlight week thing every year, but and you can actually connect with other archivists as well. But it's a really, really cool movement, and it's actually a fairly supportive community, although some of them are a little snooty.
And people, please put all these things on our Facebook event page, on the Artists for Democracy Boston page, so we have this stuff. And Sven, you want to search out something?
Yeah, I just took advantage of the fact that I often hear, and there's an event tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock. There'll be food, music, and mostly with a Latin American flavor, but generally about human rights. There'll be some, short speeches, that kind of thing, but mostly it's about music, live music, people singing, a lot of musicians from Latin America. Like tomorrow night.
Yeah. So, okay, at this point, do we have any other pitches? Otherwise, we can switch it up. All right. First thing, anybody that hasn't spoke, it'd be nice if you said who you were and what you do and that kind of stuff, since other people have gotten to say that as part of their pitches. So, if folks who haven't spoken could just go around the room row by row, whatever, that would be cool. Yeah.
I am Anthony, I'm the friendly local anti-fascist. I'm Ben, I'm a mass art sophomore.
You spoke? Yeah.
My name's Marilyn Frankenstein.
class called Media Literacy, Art, and Activism.
Back there? Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Hi, my name is Benita Mandalia. I'm an ESL teacher in Boston, and I also work for a nonprofit called Schools for Sustainability, and we primarily work in the Dominican Republic. And I'm also an aspiring photographer.
Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm a recent BU grad, and I'm a photographer, journalist, and working marketing right now.
Cool. Any journalists talk to me because we have the Boston Institute for Nonprofit Journalism in Boston, so place to go. We have money, not a lot. So.
I'm Carissa. I'm a chemistry student at Wellesley. I just like art and want to support it and want to get in on projects that can be helpful. So yeah.
My name is Thomas. I'm with Anthony here, local, and very friendly.
Who else? Back there? Who hasn't spoken yet? Next row, right there, in the middle.
Hi, my name is Alexandria Nazar. I'm primarily an artist. I'm a painter.
I'm Aniko. I'm an ESL teacher too.
Oh.
Yeah, and I have a background in journalism, at least I have a BA in journalism. That's, I was interested in anything writing associated. Thank you.
I'm Diana Bosberg. I went to Leslie with this in the same program. I never was hired by Leslie, so I was never fired.
Oh yeah. I lost my job at Leslie for leading the union drive of the core faculty after working with Sharon on the adjunct union drive. That's the story.
I live out in the suburbs, so it's a little harder for me to get into Boston. I really liked your idea about bringing more activism out to towns like Holliston, where I live, which really needs it big time.
My town doesn't have anything, and so me and a friend of mine who I used to go to high school with are trying to start some kind of activism movement in my town, wondering if anyone has any advice.
Anybody like that plug right into us, and everybody can talk to everybody. But go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I'm an oil painter and artist, and I also sing soprano quite badly. But I love singing. I'm really interested in the acapella.org movement in the Bay Area. So I didn't pitch it because I haven't had time to do any research at all. But if anyone's getting any kind of singing group together for activism, especially in harmony, I'd be very interested. Thank you.
My name is Lawrence. I'm a copywriter in advertising. I live in Cambridge, and I'm actually part of a group of Cambridge people trying to get civic education and civic engagement. Here's some ideas, but mostly right now we're just percolating. So.
Right there.
I'm Khalil, musician and photographer, and just trying to engage in the community for the common people as much as I can.
Cool. Who else back there is not?
My name is Tucker. I live in Brighton. I just came to find something to help out with.
Cool. And Victor Spo.
Henry, been a social worker anyway, just looking for something to do and do with artists, particularly visual stuff.
And back row, anybody hasn't spoken yet? Yeah.
I'm Emily. I'm a photographer, recent feminist.
Recent.
I'm on a photo project about women, so I'm interested in talking to you. And yeah, anybody needs photography help, portraits and stuff.
Hi everyone, my name is Kim. I'm a senior studying studies and history at BU. I also paint when I can, and play the tenor saxophone, so I'm interested in hanging out with people. Yeah, and I'm also working on a campaign right now at BU, also helping other schools to push the sanctuary campus movement.
Nice.
Hey everyone, my name is Kira, and I study psychology at BU, and I'm also working as an after-school teacher. Not really artistic in any way. I do some poem writing,
Hello.
Yeah, I'm Greg Cook. I'm a journalist here in Boston. I do a lot of photography of protest actions and festivals. Then I also do like event planning, like funny festivals and parades and things like that.
No, that's it. My name is Lara. I'm instructional designer, graphic designer, painter, filmmaker, and that shows how old I am. I read it so much. So I'm here, and I meet here regularly with the Boston Socialist Corner, which I would recommend anybody who wants to learn a little bit more about socialism to take part on these sessions that we do with very, very famous and great professors from this part of the world. The website is bostonsocialistunity.org. I hope I say that right.
Boston Socialist Unity Project.
Yeah. Sorry, what is it?
Boston Socialist Unity Project.
Cool.
.org.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was just,
Yeah, okay. I'm involved in a group called Massachusetts Against Hewlett Packard. Has anyone heard of that? Okay, yeah, I'll try to be very quick.
Hewlett Packard.
That the technology that Hewlett Packard provides to the Israeli government and the Israeli army is behind all the biometric data and stuff at the checkpoints in Palestine. They're also involved in mass incarceration and mass deportation here. So we're trying to get, this is an international campaign, but of course we're working here in Massachusetts and starting in Cambridge. I have petitions and or if people want to sign, and we're going to put a bill before the Cambridge City Council probably in February and have some event, but we're trying to just get this more publicized, that Hewlett Packard is involved in this stuff, and that this is a campaign. Any artists, of course, involved. We're going to have an event in February that's a little bit amorphous now what it is in Cambridge, but anyone who's interested in learning more, there is a website, Mass Against HP, and you can talk to me afterwards about that.
okay, cool, thanks. So now we can do the small group thing unless people just wanted to continue having a demo. Oh, you want to introduce yourself too?
Oh no, I was just getting to school.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to see if everyone's into that. That's what I'm kind of getting at. So, do you want to mill around and just connect with people, or you want to like do formal breakdown, small groupy kinds of things? Well, let me just say this, okay? If there are people that, like the original groups we had, wanted to do, we were talking about action. Action people could meet over here. Performance people could meet over here. Exhibition people could meet in the middle. Agitprop people could meet in the, I think the room with the glass wall is still available. And education people could meet in the table in the front. Otherwise, certainly do what you feel. And if you want to sign in, whether you spoke or not, like, giving a pitch, please do. And, I'll make a list and put it out there and stuff. Okay? So other than that, there's beer and cookies still in back. And
what do you mean put it out there? I'm fine with people here getting it. I don't want to be posted on Facebook.
Well, then you probably wouldn't want to sign it.
Well, I did.
Because I mean, we wanted people who aren't here, this Sunday to do.
Yeah, but that's the problem. I really don't.
Okay, then you press it up.
I'd like to type up a list of people who are here and disseminate it.
You want me to do that first and then just press?
Yeah.
Do I make one more announcement? Sorry.
Yeah.
I lied. I had spoon, but I also have something to say. If you're here for some more hours at 7:30, there's a follow-up meeting that happened in response to Harvard University inviting Donald Trump's campaign and his chief strategist
Steve
Bannon. Bannon, but also the Democratic Party, their normalization of it as well, and Harvard normalizing fascism. So this is a follow-up meeting to that initial action. It's not just the action, but keep on organizing. So if you're around at 7:30, this spot here, we will be meeting to build movement against Donald Trump and fascism. And yeah, so work 7:30 here.